Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a little pal here who decided to jump up. It wouldn't be a video if Blondie was not in the video, and actually she's not in this week's video because I was doing a work kitchen makeover. So for the Blondie fans, here is your Blondie fix. So this week me and the work fam worked on our kitchen in work. So in this video I've got a cabinet makeover. I painted, it was like an MDF cheapy kitchen, and we painted the walls and we gave it a little makeover, even like the countertop handles, the tiles, everything got a makeover. So me and Blondie, we're gonna get straight into the video. So here's how we upcycled and revamped our work kitchen. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we will be back for the chats after. So here is the kitchen before. So it's a nice little kitchen, it does the job, but it was just looking a little bit drab, a little bit boring, and we wanted to give the kitchen a nice makeover. This is also the rest of the canteen area, and we decided to add a bit of colour to the overall space. Our theme was grey, pink and copper. I started by removing all of the appliances and I gave the cabinets a good scrub. I also removed all of the hardware because it just makes it so much easier to paint. I'm also spray painting the hardware copper as well. Once all the hardware was removed, I used my trusty crud cutter and a sander to prep the cabinets. It's really important, especially when painting MDF, to do a really good prep. I'm just lightly sanding. I am not sanding this back bare at all. I am simply scratching or keying the wood or the MDF so that the paint has something to adhere to. I'm then using my trusty crud cutter to get off any remaining like grease, grime and any bits from sanding. It's also really important to make sure that you have no residue from the crud cutter before you apply your primer. As this material is not solid wood, I decided to go in with a coat of primer. The primer is just giving me a bit more protection, especially because our kitchen gets a lot of traffic. So it actually probably gets more traffic than a normal home kitchen because there is so many of us. I applied one thin coat of primer and I let it fully dry. Just follow the drying time on the back of the can, but try and give as much drying time between coats as you can. For the cabinets, I used the shade called Gris and I used the Authentico Versant eggshell. This is the exact same eggshell paint that I have used on my kitchen cabinets. I painted my kitchen cabinets, I think it's 3 or 4 years ago, and I have had no chips, and I have simply followed it, the exact same steps I've done here. So prep, prime and paint, and I've had no chips. I will leave all the details for paint in the description box, but I also have a discount code with the guys at Authentico. If you do want to pick up this paint, you can just use Dainty10 at checkout. This is an affiliate discount code, and I'll pop more details in the description box. I applied 2 thin coats of paint, and this paint had really good coverage. Probably would have gotten away with 1 coat, but we gave it 2. While I was waiting on my paint to dry in between coats, we tackled the hardware and the countertops. I am using some good old peel and stick paper. This stuff is really good. I got this roll from Woodies. When you're doing a large surface, it's good to have a helper. So I had a helper. Shout out to Rachel for helping me getting this on absolutely perfect with no bubbles. You may have seen me use this in another DIY from last year where I marble topped a tray table. This stuff is really simple to use. It reminds me of what you would have used on your school books to cover your school books back in the day, only it's much better now. It's not as like bubbly and sticky. Basically, we simply measured on the back. You will notice there is loads of lines and grids, so it makes it much easier to cut. And we simply peeled it off, trimmed it, and while we were like peeling it off, we just rubbed out any bubbles with a credit card. If you find the edges are difficult to do and you're getting bubbles, you can actually use a hairdryer and you can like soften the vinyl and try and get the bubbles out that way. It does say to wait 24 hours before trimming because apparently it can like stretch or warp overnight, but I actually didn't find we had any problem with this. Because of the awkward kind of shape of my handles, it was much easier to spray them. I applied 1 coat of primer to these handles because they are metal and you will need something for it to adhere to. And I then applied 2 coats of the copper spray paint. This shade is Bright Copper by Rust-Oleum. We didn't have a budget for anything in our canteen furniture wise, so we decided with some leftover marble paper, we popped them onto the table. It was more difficult to do the rounded surface compared to the worktop, but we think we've done an okay job. And this looked so good when we'd done it, especially next to the pink wall. So we have some like cute accessories like some flowers, we have a few trinkets, fake succulents, things that kind of have gold and marble, and we thought this looked really well and it made it look a bit more expensive looking, and it looks like a kind of like a cafe now. Once my handles were dry and I let them dry for a good few hours before I popped them back on, I gently drilled them back on. I also replaced the broken handle. I don't know if you noticed in the before pictures, but the drawer for the spoons was missing a handle. So I picked up a replacement one in Woodies. It was only a few euro and I drilled that back in. I also did order some peel and stick tiles, but I had an absolute nightmare with them. When I ordered the second batch, they were the wrong colour, so I ended up removing them because the shades did not match and they looked dreadful. So back to the drawing board with the peel and stick tiles. So here is the finished room. Here's a little recap of the before, and here is our kitchen afterwards. Me and the work fam are delighted we're at a new kitchen. It's nice to have a space that you can escape to, like especially in work, and I think we've like the prettiest little workspace canteen ever. I actually was in a few times I've been in like YouTube HQ and Google, and they have like these amazing like spaces for their workers. Now, this is nowhere near Google level, but it is nice to have somewhere that's really relaxing to kind of go to, and I notice more people are kind of using this space and the energy is just completely changed. It's kind of relaxing and it's just fun. We spend so much time in work when you think about it, like you spend, that's why I call it the work fam, because you spend, like if you're working 40 hours a week, it's a big chunk of time out of your week, so it's nice to kind of have, you know, a workspace. I think I need to ask the boss, can we get a work cat? Or like just bring Blondie to work. I don't think Blondie would come to work because she's a fabulous life just sitting at home waiting on me. I will make sure to link below to everything I use, so whether it's the peel and stick tiles, contact marble paper, the paint I use, I'll put all of that detail in the description box for you if you want to give it a go. I'll also put more details on the blog. I'll pop a link to the blog, it's just daintydiaries.com. And that's it for this week. from me and Queen Bee. We will catch you all in next week's video. Say bye. Bye. Bye.